It is amazing how many people survive from flying out of cars or being blasted out of them in this series.
It's a comedy series, Jeremy. Welcome to Tairimo Boys podcast. I'm your host, Cody. Me in second chair is the boy who wrecked his car on the way to the Twisted Metal tournament. It's Jeremy.
That does sound about right.
You had insurance.
I had liability.
You're
I just didn't make it out okay.
You're a liability.
Yeah, I'm a walking driving liability.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we return today with the second season of the Twisted Metal TV series live action. Jeremy, were you excited to see this?
Yes, I was.
We thoroughly enjoyed the first season, so we decided to return for the second one.
Stay tuned to find out how we liked it.
So, Jeremy, give me your first thoughts on it.
I had medium expectations going into it. I mean, they're falling in some big shoes here. I didn't expect it to be so much around the tournament, or it was a little bit more than I thought was going to be involved with the tournament.
Going into it, I knew the tournament was going to be season 2.
Did you expect most of it, like whole episodes for, let's just put it this way, whole episodes for like each part of the tournament?
I really wondered how they were going to do the tournament, because that's not really something you can do with the games, where you throw everyone into Arena 1, everyone but one person dies, then throw everyone into Arena 2, same thing. So, with a TV series, unless you're resurrecting characters, you've got to be careful. So, I think they did it right without having to, like I said, resurrect people.
Yeah, I can agree with you there. What about you, Cody? What were your expectations?
I knew we were going to get the tournament this season, since they hyped it up during the season finale. So, I went into it. I enjoyed it. There were some problems with it, and it's got like a bad case of made-for-TV budget.
Yes, it does. It was enjoyable.
Like, when they need to use their budget, they use it wisely, but you could see where
the budget cuts are.
Yeah, where the budget cuts are. The school, cough, cough. A lot of episodes taking place in the school, cough, cough.
Very fair.
Let's get into it. Like our last review for season 1, we're just going to break down each episode. And this time, there are 12 episodes instead of 10. So, episode 1's kind of like the catch-up episode. There's like a 6-month time skip, and we see what's going on. We get Raven's backstory, which I hated what they did, where the Raven John was dealing with last season wasn't actually the real Raven.
Different Raven.
Yeah, that made no fucking sense to me. It's like, well, why are you doing this?
I still don't get it. I thought so long and hard about it, and he even mentions, he's like, there's a whole lot of Ravens out there. I'm like, but why? What?
Yeah, they're not doing like some doppelganger thing.
No, and the only thing I could think of is that maybe Calypso employs people or like forces them to work under him as Ravens, because it's mentioned there's multiple Ravens, and somehow it's never explained, but Calypso and Raven have some sort of connection.
We'll get to that. I think I figured it out.
Okay, I am very interested.
Yeah. I don't think it's what you're thinking, though.
Okay.
Like, I think it's like some 4D chess shit, and she was like a pawn in the whole thing. But aside from the whole multiple Ravens thing, like I said, it made no sense. Like, everyone in the city seems to know there's multiple Ravens, so it's not like it's some like hidden thing.
Everybody but John.
Yeah. But we're actually watching John as he tries to adjust to the season finale last time, where they've got him at gunpoint, telling him, it's like, oh, you're going to be participating in the Twisted Metal tournament. And we watch him as he goes through zany try to escape sequences.
All right. The comic relief in this episode is pretty unmatched.
Yeah.
Like, one of my favorite parts is when Raven threatens to take away John's DVDs. He says, "You bring nothing but chaos."
Not only that, he's like, in order to entertain himself, he starts raiding like the Babysitters Club,
which he gets so invested into. That joke carries on throughout the entire season.
That was funny. Which, if you don't know what the Babysitters Club is, it's a book series meant for like elementary school girls.
Oh, something else I gotta say about that book. So it was his sister's book, Dollface's. When he found that blunt, he would not have been able to smoke that thing and get high. If at least 6 months have passed, that shit would be long dried out in the back.
6 months, Jeremy. I'm thinking like 20 years and 6 months.
Yeah, I mean, but even your shit's gonna dry out. Like I'm like, yeah, there's no way he got that high off that.
Yeah, you're worrying about the weed.
Of course I am. Priorities, Cody. Priorities.
But like, I just loved his like this the escape sequences. Like whenever he was doing the pizza delivery through the paprika in the guard's eye, and like for the rest of the scene he's in, he's got like an eye patch on.
That was good. This was really the comic relief episode.
Yeah, it's and the thing is like this season they apparently the show did like insanely well, like in the comedy department, like top of the ratings type thing.
Hmm. I believe it. No, I'll just go out. I'll go ahead and go out there and say it before we get started on more episodes too. I think the pacing was just off.
Like in the first episode or throughout
No,
the
just throughout the season in general. It was decent enough pace, and it's very watchable, very enjoyable. But the pacing was, I felt like we would go with a couple episodes that were heavy on the humor, had action in it, and then we would just go to like serious dark stuff, and then we went to budget cuts.
yeah.
So it's just a
Cough,
pacing between
school cough.
Foreshadow.
Yeah, it definitely has like pacing issues compared to the first season, but aside from like a higher budget, like I don't know how they would have fixed it.
I really don't know. I thought about it for a while, and I was just like, they did the best with what they could to build this up and continue the series. So, applause.
Yeah, I think maybe if there was more action in it and less school downtime, maybe it would have flowed better. But
Agreed. That's the only thing I could think of. The school really slows it down.
the purpose of the school too is to do like character development, kind of like what they did in the first season. But even then, like the preacher episode in the first season, you got like really good development, and here's your new characters. Here's your what's going on in this world. Here's an action-packed
much quicker.
fight, and like the new characters they like introduce, like they kill them off like really quick.
Yeah, so they shotgun new characters at you. You spend, it feels like half of an episode learning their backstory, and then they kill them off.
Yeah, like that. We're only on episode 1, but like the one I can think of is like that death warrant guy with the eye patch. It's like, oh yeah, he takes the hair of everyone he kills. He's got a huge bald spot. Yeah, he was killed like really quickly. I think he had like one line.
Immediately. He was going to Tournament City and he got killed. He was like Boba Fett of this series.
Anyways, let's not jump too much out of order.
Way
but
far ahead.
yeah. Anyways, first episode ends. Well, we get Raven, like the actual Raven's backstory, where she was a lesbo and her goth girlfriend ended up kind of drowning but didn't die. Is a coma, so you can tell like her wish is to resurrect her. But John ends up escaping and meets back up with his sister, who's Dollface in the series, who's driving Darkseid. And this is the only episode where you actually get to see Darkseid.
Mm-hmm.
Jeremy, what'd you think overall about this episode that we haven't said already?
I really don't have too much to say about this episode, to be honest. I mean, I thought the entry to Mr. Grimm was pretty cool. If I was going to be a picky boy, a small hatchet is not going to cut somebody's head clean off like Quiet did to that cave guy. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah, that just shows you like how weird this. Was that even this episode? No, that was episode 2. No.
We're still talking about episode 1.
Yeah, we're talking about episode 1. I was like, Mr. Grimm wasn't in this episode.
Yeah, no, that's my bad. I went out of order. The other thing I liked is the little member berries where the Twisted Metal 2 game case was on John's windshield.
Yeah, well, it wasn't on his windshield. It was whenever he was using that like arcade cabinet the guards were forcing him to. Like in his pile of games, he had Twisted Metal 2. So
that's right.
It's fair to say next season you're gonna get Twisted Metal 3 somewhere in episode 1.
Right. Other than that, I don't have much to add to the episode. What about you, Cody?
It hits comedy where it needs to be and establishes what's happened with all the characters and sets up Dollface for the first time.
And some cool nostalgia stuff. I guess, the other thing I saw was on that map that Dollface drew, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles next to the sewer. That was pretty awesome.
Yeah, I know there was a lot of Ninja Turtle stuff in this season.
Are we going to get a crossover?
That's the closest thing to a crossover you're going to be. Oh, and we're reintroduced to Stu, who's been going back to his sweet tooth life.
And what a life it is.
Just
That gets more
returning.
fun as we progress through these episodes.
Like, Stu got a lot of character development.
I would arguably say he had the most character development.
Yeah, now that I think about it. John and Quiet they kind of stay the status quo, but Stu just completely changes.
Yeah, he does.
Anyways, let's get on to episode 2. Jeremy's already talked a bit about it. Like, after John escapes, he's grabbed by Dollface, his gang, and find out that Quiet's been working with him. And they do a race to see who's going to compete in the Twisted Metal tournament. And Quiet ends up winning.
Yep, we're also introduced to Mayhem in this episode.
Yeah, we're introducing basically a new character, which is like this teenage girl named Mayhem, who can't read or drive or do very much.
I gotta say, her comic relief was hilarious too. She's like this overcocky, confident teen that has no skills in most things.
Yeah, I really enjoyed her character. She also had a lot of development too.
She did have a ton of development. I would put her up there as probably second most developed character throughout this entire season.
Yeah, they're trying to establish like a brand new main character for this. Kind of like establishing a family type thing, since that's kind of overall what the first season was about. Like, Quiet lost her brother, John has amnesia, so you got to set up a new family.
Which I like the idea. It worked well in this type of series.
Yeah, you need like development like this, not like cavemen.
yeah, that was such bullshit.
Like, come on, man.
I was like, why are we doing this? But whatever, that's just me being a picky boy.
Like, maybe you can view it as like okay, it's more of a comedy show, but it's kind of like, this ain't like Mad Max where ammo's scarce and a lot of your ammo's gonna misfire. Machine guns on the cars are just ripping throughout this entire series.
Yes, they are.
Barely do shit.
Nope. Except when it needs to.
Yeah.
And you know what episode I'm talking about.
I've got it written down. This is also the episode where we have Mr. Grimm introduced into the series for the first time. So the version of Mr. Grimm we get in this one is like closer like the Twisted Metal one version.
Mm-hmm.
Looks exactly like him. A helmet with the stylized skull on it.
Badass.
And I'm gonna go out here and say it. I loved what they did with Mr. Grimm.
Oh, absolutely. They gave him what's that demon? Legion. They gave him that like Legion ability where he can take souls of others. That proves that we are in a supernatural world.
Okay, do we want to talk about that now?
Yeah, let's go. We might as well.
Okay.
We're already talking about Mr. Grimm.
So, Jeremy, are you taking the approach that he actually was absorbing souls?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm like,
there is a scene that kind of could disprove it.
There's multiple scenes that. Okay, so it's like 50-50. It's either like there's actually a supernatural thing going on, and only Mr. Grimm and maybe Calypso can see it, and the second one is he's just a schizophrenic.
Okay,
with multi-personality disorder.
Here's the counter argument to my own argument. He was admitted to the same asylum that Sweet Tooth went to. So it could very well be all in his head. However, there is something that Calypso does in one of our later episodes that proves something like that.
We'll talk more about it, but I mean, this could. Here's the thing: if he is actually absorbing souls and he's sitting there talking like with multiple personalities, a normal society is going to view him as crazy and throw him into an insane asylum.
True. All right, Mr. Grimm's up in the air. I'm up in the air on that one.
But I mean, that's what's good about this series. We don't have an answer.
No, we don't get answers to a lot of things. Like, we still don't know what age this is in.
I'll talk about that too once we get to the finale. Because this they go out of their way to make sure they really screwed things up. But overall, like, I liked the Mr. Grimm in this series because they're not doing the Grim Reaper thing or the pirate captain thing or the guy with the skull on his head like they did in later series.
Yeah, no, I really like this version of Grimm.
And Jeremy, anything else to say before we move on to the next one?
No, not really.
Yeah, it's kind of a slower episode overall. I mean, we just
It
spent
is.
the majority of our time talking about Mr. Grimm, and he's on like in a short scene where he's still in the asylum from last season that Sweet Tooth was in, and Calypso ends up getting him out through supernatural means. I mean, supernatural shit obviously exists in this world.
Right.
No, but we didn't mention it, but yeah, Calypso announces his tournament in the first episode. Like every single like electronic device in the country like turns on and announces it.
Is
And
it implied at one point he was part of that?
that's what I said last season. Like it implies that he was behind the whole event, cyber attack that caused the world to go post-apocalyptic.
Which sounds like something he would do, and I swear they do. They do a pretty big reference to it in season or episode 1. I just can't remember exactly what it is. So that's up in the air too.
I think it was how all the TVs turned on because it kind of had like the same static effect that you saw in like Agent Stone's backstory whenever shit hit the fan.
Yeah, that's true.
By the way, what'd you think about Calypso in this season? Now that we finally got him in here.
All right. This may or may not shock you, but I absolutely love Calypso. I thought he was such a fun villain. And his like ridiculous laugh I thought was going to wear on me, but it's the laugh of like a crazy person that wants nothing but chaos.
It took a while for him to grow on me. I mean, I obviously like the version in the original games more. This one's like clearly like an attention seeking, sold his soul to the devil type thing in order to get attention, and is now finally getting the attention.
Yeah.
The only thing I didn't like was like I didn't like his like evil laugh giggle thing because
I thought it was funny after a while.
it was kind of funny, but it was cringe. Like if you were watching him do this, like I mean, he's clearly supernatural because there's like you watch him just teleporting around throughout the series. Like
Yep.
like whenever he was like whenever Raven was talking to him, like it was like all right, I'm done talking with you. Turns around and he's standing like right behind her. Even though he was just face to face with him on their side. But like whenever he's like giggling and laughing like out of nowhere, like evilly, like it just comes off as like cringe.
It is. It's different, but it did grow on me, and I did really enjoy the character. Like you mentioned, Cody, not as much as the video game from what I remember, but I still liked him as a character. I thought he fit well.
Yeah, I mean, if I had to rank Calypso's, if I had to scale Calypso's, like the 2, 3, and 4 would be top rank, and then maybe like I'm not familiar with the later games, but this one would come under that.
Yep.
It's definitely a lot better than the first game's Calypso. But anyways, moving on. Episode 3. This is where we get a lot of Mr. Grimm. Now this is where he kills the grave robbers, robbing his dad's grave. And by the way, Easter egg for you. On his dad's tombstone, it said Buzz, Captain Grimm. Twisted Metal 4, Captain Grimm was the version of Mr. Grimm.
I'll be damned.
So they made sure to
Member berries.
bury that.
Oh, this whole entire series is full of member berries.
Oh,
But
yeah,
it doesn't feel out of place, honestly. Well, most of it doesn't.
There's member berries, but there's also Easter eggs.
Yeah.
And especially in like the last episode, which we'll talk about when we get there. Like I think like the third episode was I'm not gonna say it was the best episode, but I feel like it's probably the most fruitful episode where you get a lot in it that you want to see. You get John and Dollface like reconnecting as brother and sister, and you get you see like Mr. Grimm, how him absorbing souls thing.
Yep. And we're also introduced to Axel.
Yep, Axel and his creator.
Okay, his creator cracked me
I
up.
know. That's why I love this episode. That was such a funny thing. Like this, like short, like nerdy scientist. Might have been well, he wasn't really midget height, manlet height, definitely. Like
I will rank this up there for those interactions alone.
Yeah.
I took notes on like some of my favorite quotes from what was it, Dr. Hell was
I
his
don't
name?
know if the evil scientist doctor guy.
Yeah, Dr. Zemu, I think.
Something like that. But as soon as he grabbed like Quiet and had her hostage, he's like, John goes, "What? Anytime you see a black person, you want to turn them into a car?" Like, I'm not racist. Some of my best friends are black.
He backs up. He goes. So after John asks him the question, he's like, "No, it's not racially motivated." When John like Superman throws him and he gets the doctor gets impaled, his last dying breath is, "Some of my best friends were black people."
That all was hilarious. And then John just pokes at Axel's just attacking them like a junkyard dog would, and they sneak around and kill the guy. And John picks out, like, "Hey, we killed that mad scientist guy. Free to go." He's like, "What? Talk louder." Because Axel had his whole machine going. And Quiet's like, "We killed the guy. You're free to go." He's like, "Okay, thanks. Good looking out for you." Leaves. It really wasn't explained. Like, why didn't Axel just kill the guy? He didn't like him.
I couldn't. I mean, other than maybe he had some fail-safe device or something like that because he's a doctor. But that's the only way I could reason it. Otherwise, Axel could have easily killed the doctor.
No, we're digging too deep into it. There should have been like
we aren't complaining, boys.
One line like explanation of it, but whatever.
And Mr. Grimm goes ham in this episode.
Yeah,
well, not really ham because a lot of it's off screen, but like it's implied he goes ham, and we get to see his scythe.
Yeah, that's where not this Jeremy, but the Twisted Metal Jeremy.
Yeah, not me.
He sneaks off and gets him some special muffin time.
Simp Jeremy dies. This Jeremy is still alive.
But that's where Quiet's teaching Mayhem how to drive, and Mr. Grimm comes in and like kills Jeremy, and then you see, as the viewer, you see him like absorbing his soul. Mayhem and Quiet are just sitting in roadkill, just watching the whole thing. He's like, what the hell is he doing? He's like, like we as the viewer could see like absorbing a soul, and they're just seeing like a crazy guy. So this is where it establishes, is this guy actually crazy, or is he absorbing like a soul?
Yeah, that's true. But yeah, he kills Simp Jeremy. And that is not my boys in action. You know damn well we do not survive the junkyard.
We didn't survive season 1, Jeremy.
Oh yeah, we're long dead. We didn't even get to the race for the final fight.
Whatever, we'll talk about it, but this episode ends with Mr. Grimm and Axel fighting.
Which was epic. They did like a whole samurai like charge at each other type of thing.
Yeah, you don't really see it. But
no.
You know epic stuff is going on.
Yeah, it's implied epic, really epic stuff is going on. That's enough for me.
All right. Anything else to say about the episode, Jeremy?
Nada.
Like I said, great episode. Really fruitful for what you're expecting on this series. Episode 4, Diesel City. This is where, with Dollface, Quiet, Mayhem, and John going to enter the tournament, they decided, we need some special weapons. So they go to a special city called Diesel City, which is ruled by a guy called the Emperor. And they decide they're going to steal the special weapons in the vault. Also, Sweet Tooth and Stu are there.
You already know what I'm going to say about Sweet Tooth.
Okay, let's talk about Sweet Tooth first. So, the rules of Diesel City is basically no violence. So, what Sweet Tooth does is he goes and buys a cape. Like someone told him it was Dracula's cape. And he's like, sitting there, pulls like a guy under and punches him. Like, see, no one can see me do violence with this thing.
And he's snapping necks underneath it and everything else. I'm going to go out here and say, I love this episode.
Yeah, this was a great episode. It does a lot of world building.
Mm-hmm. And there's actually a couple reasons I really love this episode. But yeah, like you said, Cody, great world building. We get to see Diesel City and the Emperor and his crazy parties.
Yeah. It was funny because the Emperor basically mingles with like all the rich people that come to Diesel City. So John and Quiet end up sneaking in there.
And don't you dare say what segment. I know you're going to do a segment off it. I am not participating.
All right, it's time for Boo Bonanza.
We don't get none.
Yeah, we do.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Okay, so Jeremy, whenever they were in the Emperor's Crow Nest and you had the marble statue and all the paintings with the boobs on them, what do you think about all those boobs?
You got to go 10 out of 10.
Those were statues and drawings you can barely see.
Yeah,
it's very faint. Like 5 out of 10, maybe.
You know what? For the first time ever, I'm going to go lower on the Boo Bonanza scale because that's fair. We're going to put that. Yeah, we're going to put that around 5.5, maybe. Yeah, that's a record low for me.
Were you disappointed when you didn't get Penis Palooza?
I swear to God, I thought you were going for that. I was like, we are not doing the laser scene, Penis Palooza.
That wasn't so much a penis as a boner.
Albeit it was fucking hilarious. But he could have crawled under those goddamn lasers as they were headed towards the vault with all those super weapons.
I mean, the people are probably confused, but yeah, the Emperor basically has orgies going on. I like how like the guards kidnap Stu. It's like we've been told that you need to come with us, and then as it is like John and Quiet are in the orgy. They bring Stu in. It's like, yeah, this is the most pathetic person in the city. But yeah, Stu just like snaps and like kills everyone in there. I love at the end where he goes back to Sweet Tooth. Like, Sweet Tooth, I murdered a whole room. It's like, oh, you finally did it. You killed someone. You got your fangs. I had a lot of sex too. Like, ew, I don't want to hear about that. That's gross.
And then he says, he's saying no more sex. He's like, I've had enough.
But yeah, John and Quiet end up screwing in the vault, and Stu ends up running off with like all the special weapons. But they get
that scene with "What Is Love" song going on.
So everything burns around him.
That was wild. Well done.
It was, yeah. This episode's got like a lot of humor in it. Dollface and Sweet Tooth teaming up. Like, ooh, I think I found a girl just like me. And them fighting in the crow's nest. Where she's slamming like Sweet Tooth on like the door.
Oh my god, that is one of my favorite parts of this whole season is when Mayhem jumps Sweet Tooth and he's trying to get her off and he's curse this high quality velvet. I laugh so fucking hard.
I also love like whenever isn't it like Sweet Tooth comes out like and kills someone? No wait, yeah. Something happens where some violence happens and like the snipers didn't take someone down and someone else. The snipers are down, and like the whole city just turns into chaos with everyone stealing and fighting.
It's just a fun episode. It balances everything correctly. You've got, like you said, the world building. You see the darker side of the society, and you get that comedic relief that we expect from series 1 or season 1 rather. Well done episode.
And by the way, like whenever it comes to like all the special weapons, those were like all Easter eggs and stuff. Like the ghost missiles, those are normally like Spectre's weapon in the games. Now the thing is in Twisted Metal 2, Roadkill had a boomerang ability, so of course they end up stealing like a boomerang missiles in this one,
which was cool.
I liked it. I don't understand those things. It's like I would not want to be using those.
I mean, dangerous as fuck, but if somebody's falling behind you, launch that bitch in front of you and turn around, turn to the last second. There goes the person right behind you.
Just fire a missile behind you.
Yeah, you know what? I was thinking that about a lot of chases in this. I was like, what if they had guns on the back? Like, that would solve most of this racist problem.
That's why in the games, 1, there were remote mines, and 2, there was a button combination to shoot behind you. But, yeah. I mean, they're effective, as we see in the series, but talk about that when we get there.
Yep.
Any other things you want to say about this episode, Jeremy?
No, I said everything I could. Solid episode.
So, moving on. This is our first Twisted Metal episode. So, episode 5, this is where everyone arrives at the tournament and we start seeing our, like all the new characters that aren't going to be around too long. And all the old characters. For starters, Mike survived the after credit scene in season 1.
Go figure.
I don't think that would work in real life. Like, I rolled around in the fire pit and cauterized the wound.
Yeah, I thought about that for a while. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna shut my brain off and enjoy my brain rot.
Just go with it.
Yep.
But he did find someone new. He ended up getting kidnapped by cannibals again, but he befriended one of them. And this time we get Mike and Dave. And Dave's like this overly cheery guy. Like, tries to remain positive all the time. And like I mentioned in our last review, Mike and Dave were the drivers of Hammerhead in season 1. Not season 1, but the first game. And then Mike and Stu were the drivers in Twisted Metal 2.
Yep.
So that's kind of a call back to the older games. But unfortunately, in this series, we don't get the monster truck Hammerhead.
Unfortunately.
I don't know why they just didn't buy a monster truck.
I don't know why either, or at least CGI it. I mean, you know where they cut budget, so at least save a little bit for the monster truck.
Yeah, there's 2 vehicles missing, but we'll talk about the second one once we get there. The important thing about this episode is this is where Yeah. Okay, so here's the thing about Vermin. Vermin was a new character. Her vehicle, the Roach Coach, was not a new vehicle. It was driven by, I think his name was Google Eyes in Twisted Metal 4. I'm going to say this. I am glad they got rid of him because he was a completely forgettable character. And Vermin was actually a memorable character.
Yeah, you cannot forget Vermin. They make damn well sure you don't forget about Vermin.
I mean, the thing is she survives like the longest of all the new characters, so you actually get some like character development.
She does survive everybody, but Axel, huh?
Raven killed her.
Right, but Raven killed Vermin first and exploded her vehicle. She went flying out, but Axel comes in later.
No, she was killed by the lightning. Remember, she survived because she landed on like John's version of roadkill. She's like,
That's
"Help
right.
me!" He's like, "Get off me!" And then she fell off. And
Hits the windshield wipers.
Yeah. Then she gets struck by lightning and killed.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
But the overall important thing of this episode, this is really the qualifier round where it's like, oh yeah, here's all these packages. Like you've got to deliver them to the end of this airplane runway, Tournament City. So it's basically all out brawl where everyone's fighting, shooting each other, and the packages have like a HP bar too on them. And if the HP drops to 0, you get like missile striked. Aside from like all the completely new characters that they kill really quickly, the important thing with this is Dollface is killed.
Yep.
Which like, oh, John and her just started developing family bonds.
Go ahead and kill off a character.
She's dead. All right, I'm gonna go out here and say so. The 4-wheeler she was driving in the games is called ATV. Mm-hmm. I always hated I never liked Axel's design, and I always hated like stuff like ATV because it just leaves you too exposed. I feel like
much like Grimm's bike.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, but
he can zigzag a little bit easier. I suppose.
You could zigzag with that, but you got to remember in the games too that Grimm's bike had like the passenger like sidecar thing.
Oh yeah, that's right.
But you got to remember too, he's also the Grim Reaper, so you can kind of count some of that.
I guess it's still up in the air, but let's just go with it.
But, I mean, Axel would be easy to kill in real life.
Yeah, you guys got to turn on the radius.
By the way, viewers at home, if you're not familiar with Twisted Metal series, like Sweet Tooth is like the mascot of it, but Axel's like a close second.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Cody, what did you think about the episode overall?
We had good action, great characters until we killed off like all the unimportant ones and left people like Chucky Floop.
Yeah, I gotta give the points I give for this one for sure is when they started the race, Dragula played by Rob Zombie. So
do you know
already a fan.
Hold on, do you know the backstory of why Dragula played?
No, you're gonna have to enlighten me.
Rob Zombie was a driver in Twisted Metal 4. He drove Dragula.
Oh, you know what? Memory unlocked. I never played the game, but I have seen that. And then the other reason, like you said, Cody, this is just action packed. This is how you do Twisted Metal action correctly. Like there's just mayhem going on. You have the chance of dying at any time if you take, 3 boops to the package. Pretty solid episode, I'd say.
There was a major flaw with the whole system, though. You would have been at an advantage if you just waited and came in last place.
That's true.
It's like I just casually just drive there. Like I'm not participating in this.
No, I'd be on cruise.
Yeah, it's not like they were on a timer. I think they should have really put a timer on there just to get rid of that plot hole.
Yeah, that would have been an easy fix. There we go. Fix it, boys. We fixed it. Good job, Cody.
Oh, and something I forgot to mention too, Preacher.
Yeah.
All right, so we find out Preacher died in season 1, and he got resurrected as a baby, and he's got basically 2 guys that are taking care of him.
They are great comic relief. I have to admit that.
Some guys lactate.
Absolutely wild pair.
So, a little fun fact for you. Originally, they wanted the actor for Preacher to return from season 1. Like, he didn't die. But he had scheduling conflicts, so that's why they did the whole resurrected as a baby thing.
I think they did it well, to be honest.
Yeah, it was funny enough. It's if you didn't know the backstory, you just go with it.
Yeah, exactly.
There's religious stuff going on, so I mean that's the whole characters thing. Oh, and this is also the episode where maybe Harold does something. Harold's the like Sweet Tooth's like paper bag companion. He like hands him like a grenade, and then like his Stu's like shooting out the back of the ice cream mobile. Like the grenade just goes rolling out and like destroys like one of the cars on their tail. Like, so did the paper bag pull the pin and handle? By the way, I found out like Harold isn't like brand new lore for the series. Like apparently it was in Twisted Metal 1 and a small cameo in like 2012.
Oh shit.
Yeah, apparently Sweet Tooth wanted his paper bag back in the first game.
Oh, I can't wait to talk about one of the later episodes about Harold.
We'll get to that. All right, to the next episode. Episode 6. This is really where it starts with like a flashback. Where, if you remember in season 1, there were like welcome to Topeka signs that had Calypso's real spray painted on them. Well, this is the episode where we find out that Calypso was spray painting the signs himself. And he meets with John and goes over... What did he go over? I think that they were talking about, like, what do you really want? Yeah.
Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, John said he wanted freedom, and Calypso said, John, you have freedom now. Freedom is best enjoyed alone. Type of thing. Something like that.
Yeah. Like I said earlier, like... You asked like what was Raven and Calypso's plan? Like I think it's like some like 4D like chess shit. And I think like this was part of it. Like I think like this is where Calypso. I wonder if Calypso met with like all the drivers before like they entered.
I was thinking that too.
This.
Well, we know him and what's her name again?
Raven.
Yeah, thank you. We know just by them talking their engagements that they've met before.
Yeah, especially the whole Rocky Road ice cream thing.
Yep.
Here's my theory. Like, I think I don't want to blurt it all out now because we got to talk about the final episode. But like, I think this looking back at the campsite thing, I think Calypso kind of recruited John for what we don't know yet. But it would eventually go on to Raven. You need to get this guy in the tournament, and then the whole plan would screw up. And we'll go further with that.
Yeah, that's fair.
But like the important thing is like this episode makes sure it establishes that Calypso might have some supernatural powers.
Yes,
because he's teleporting around and pulling beers out of his ass.
Also, Sweet Tooth has when they crossed the finish line because Stu took over the steering wheel, or instead of going to fight Grimm, went straight for the finish line. Sweet Tooth came out with one of the hardest lines of the entire series. It was like Joker style. He said that on one hand, I'm very mad. He was talking about Stu. He said, but on the other hand, that was a very chaotic move. And what are we if not agents of chaos? That was so badass.
Yeah. That's where Stu and well, so we haven't mentioned it, but Sweet Tooth and Grimm like hate each other. Because Sweet Tooth basically had Grimm in the prison asylum, and then before society collapsed, Mr. Grimm was the popular kid in the asylum.
That's really all we know about their beef, right? Like he became the popular kid.
And Sweet Tooth kept him in there, like after society collapsed. You know, we've been talking about like episode 5 and 6 like this entire time.
I mean, they're solid episodes. There's a bit to talk about.
Yeah, like when we were talking about episode 5, we were also talking about episode 6. I kind of mashed them together by accident.
Well, I mean, the episodes blend well, together.
I mean, they're both in part 1 and part 2 of like the same storyline.
Yeah.
So. Do you remember like the tow truck with the spike on the spiky ball at the back?
Sure do.
That's Junkyard Dog in the game.
They
killed him off really quickly.
Yes, they did.
Kind of wanted to see what that spiky ball was going to do.
I know. I was actually excited for it, to be honest. And I was like, oh, he's dead.
I mean, we've mostly talked about this episode because this is where the majority of the fighting is. And
yeah.
Other than that, this is where we get introduced to the school, which we've talked about a bit already.
Budget cuts.
Yeah, like the majority of these next episodes, they take place in like the school. It's like, okay, we found a abandoned school that we could use for filming, and Now when we're not doing car stuff, we're gonna be in the school.
This is where the tempo goes off for me. It goes
Yeah.
from build up, build up, build up, and then slow, and slow, and slow. But there are some enjoyable parts to these next few episodes.
Yeah, like the medical exam. Sweet Tooth
Yes.
taking the medical exam. I like that where it's like, I'm gonna need a urine sample. It gives him like this pitch black water.
The whole medical exam thing was great. I'm glad they added that in there.
We'll talk about the other medical thing when we get to that episode.
Yep, we have to.
Like, this is more too where at the end of it where Calypso's powers are revealed, where his eyes are glowing red and he's teleporting around, threatening Raven. Like, you weren't supposed to enter this tournament, but here you are. And this is also the episode where we get introduced to the wishing well.
Yes, we do.
Normally with Twisted Metal, you get one wish once you win. But in this episode, all the contestants are pulled aside, and you get to make a wish. It's one wish per car, by the way, since John and Quiet are like one car. But Sue's Quiet makes her wish to bring down the wall surrounding like all the upper class cities. John's like, okay, I'm gonna make a second wish because I'm a jackass, which it's to basically resurrect Dollface since she was killed. And this is where we need to start talking about wishes. Anyone familiar with the Twisted Metal series knows that Calypso likes to backfire wishes.
Oh yeah, he's a sneaky fella.
Jeremy, I don't know if you caught this, but just about everyone's wishes either come true or is close to coming true.
Yeah,
Like backfire come true.
definitely backfire come true.
But we'll get more into that as we go. So, anything else you want to say about these two episodes before we move on?
Nope, I'm good on those.
All right, next episode. The next episode's like our next round where Calypso there's like a warehouse district and you need to put these remote controls in them that you need to, they're passes that you need to cross the finish line. If you don't have them, then you get like impaled by spikes.
Mm-hmm.
So since Roadkill came in last place last time, they get a head start. They're giving a radar and they completely fuck the whole thing up. Because John feels guilty that he made a second wish.
Right? Just takes away his driving ability completely.
And his navigating ability. I hated the whole drama with him making the second wish. Like, come on, man. Stick to your guns. Like, it felt like so fake and them trying to add drama.
It felt forced. It really did. Although there were some funny points in this.
This
Episode.
This episode's got like a funny stuff in it. Like the hockey ring.
Where Stu slides like a penguin and Sweet Tooth yells out, "Go, my little penguin!"
Yeah, one of the remotes is like on the ice and leads to like Preacher and his two minions and Raven and Sweet Tooth and Stu and John and John and Quiet just trying to get across the ice and grab it. The funny thing is like whenever the baby Preacher has like a gun, it pulls the trigger and shoots like Stu in the arm. You see the like, what's it called, like Prom or whatever, like scooting, flying back across the ice to the recoil.
I'm glad you mentioned it because I was going to bring it up too. That was hilarious. It's like, how many times is John going to get shot?
Well, it was Stu that got shot.
Or Stu, yeah, my apologies, Stu.
And like, that was never brought up again. And Stu acts like he's unwounded for the rest of the series. So.
Stu took a lot of hardcore damage that he walked away from.
Yeah.
This guy's either a walking tank or there was a wee bit of oversight here.
So that's the first remote. The next remote we get is it's Mayhem versus Chucky Floop. By the way, Chucky Floop, that isn't like a new character. That's like a established character.
Really? What game was he in? Do you know?
He was the driver of Spectre. And I think it was Twisted Metal Head On.
Oh,
that's why his car looked like Spectre. The white and the blue stripe, the Cobra thing. So the car was
sense, but I had no idea.
Yeah, so the car was supposed to be Spectre, but at the same time they decided to throw some Quattro in there. Now here's the thing. So Mayhem and Chucky, they definitely did change Chucky's personality, where he's just like a rude, crude guy in this one.
Oh, definitely. I can definitely imagine that.
but him and Mayhem end up fighting, and she ends up like kicking him out the like a third or fourth floor warehouse window. You see him fall to his death as he smashes on Mayhem's car. Jeremy, what was Chucky's wish?
Oh shit, I don't even remember.
He wished to fly.
Yep, there it is.
So he went flying out the window.
Yeah, he did for a short time.
All right, so some lore for you. In Twisted Metal 4, Quattro was an alien bounty hunter. He was sent to Earth to hunt 4 characters. It was Calypso, Sweet Tooth, Rob Zombie, and who was the other one? Oh, Captain Grimm. Like I said, he was the alien bounty hunter. He rode a alien hover bike called a Xeno hover bike. On the Spectre license plate, it said Xeno hover bike. Well, Xeno Hov. But, they can't really do alien bounty hunters in this series.
Nope.
So what they did was, here's your Spectre. It's being controlled by an AI, and Mayhem ends up naming it Quattro.
Her personal Jarvis.
That really did next to nothing after this episode.
For real.
So Mayhem gets one. She ends up getting out. Then we get the Brimstone fight. Well, the second Brimstone fight. Brimstone's like Preacher's car.
That's right, yeah.
This was another case. Like I hate when they make changes to like these cars. Like in the games, like Preacher's like a Cadillac with stained glass windows and a stake on the front of it. Mm-hmm. And this one's more like a Beetle, I think, with a skull in the front of it. It's got like stained glass back windows, but
it's not the same.
Yeah, it's not the same. I think this would have been like a cool car to like have like a new character pilot, but I wish they would have stuck with it. But no, this is the same series where Hammerhead's just a student driver thing. But I love the fight between Brimstone and Roadkill. At one point they get out and they're fighting like hand to hand, and like one of the guys, like it was Benjamin, ends up stealing like the boomerang missiles.
That was a fun part.
Ends up getting ahead. It's like, all right, time to die. They shoot it at Roadkill, and like it stops like right in front of the hood, and then goes back and blows them all up. But somehow the baby survived, because you can't show child murder in this.
It is amazing how many people survive from flying out of cars or being blasted out of them in this series.
It's a comedy series, Jeremy.
Yeah, I get it. But still, I'm just like, okay, so it kills everybody else, but somebody, not the people we need to go on. So it's comedy for the plot.
Like, okay, we can't kill or leave a baby, so they bring it to Calypso. What's it? Mayhem is like, all right, I should be the first one in there, and then as soon as she gets there, like all the other main characters have already crossed the finish line.
Yeah.
I liked what Mr. Grimm did too. I don't know why Calypso allowed it, but Sweet Tooth got the one that was on the ice, right?
Think so. Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
No, he either got that or another one off screen, but like he's racing to the finish line. They're fighting like Mr. Grimm, and Mr. Grimm ends up like ramping his motorcycle into the ice cream truck so he can cross the finish line without getting impaled. Calypso allows it.
Yeah, he does.
Because that was the one where it's like, all right, I'm gonna Sweet Tooth's like, I'm gonna set aside my grudge with Mr. Grimm and be over with it. After he does that, like, okay, the grudge is on again. Yeah, action-packed episode. Get a lot of comedy in it.
Overall. A lot of comedy. That conversation between Quiet and Mayhem was hilarious about killing their first.
Oh yeah, it sounded like sex.
Yeah, they made it sound like it was their first time having sex. And it just went on and on. I was like, this is hilarious.
Anything else to say about this episode, Jeremy?
No, I mean, I think we covered pretty much all bases of this one.
Yep. Episode 8. So, episode 8 starts off with Axel's backstory, where we find out that he was indebted to like the mafia mob, whatever, and he had to be a hitman. He ended up going into like a drug den, killing everyone but a baby. And we'll talk more about the baby later.
Yes, we will. I'm going to come out in here and say it. This, to me, was an amazing episode.
Yeah, this was a school episode, but...
Yes, this is one that broke up. All right, no, it didn't break up because this was at the start of the school, but this is by far the best school one, at least.
Yeah.
Phenomenal episode.
This was like really a horror movie type episode.
Mm-hmm.
we get some like normal stuff at the start, and like the second medical scene, kind of hinted at earlier, where the doctor brings Sweet Tooth in. It's like, I've got some bad news for you. It's like, oh man, I can't take this, doc. I was like, give it to me. Like, you're sterile. Like, it's like, I don't know what you mean. Like, you can't have children. It's like, I got plenty of children. Like, no, your testicles don't work. Like, I've got a lot of testicles. Which ones?
He's like, that's the problem.
I don't know what they meant by that. If either Sweet Tooth's like a mutant with a lot of testicles, or if, the serial killer vibe where he's been collecting people's testicles.
I kind of, in my mind, I went with he's been collecting testicles.
That's kind of what I went with too, but you could still do the other one.
Yeah, I mean, both work.
But yeah, just the doctor trying to console him.
I do got to ask the question, Cody. What did you think of Axel's backstory when it goes first person?
Oh, I loved that. It
Absolutely amazing.
It reminded me of that movie, Hardcore Henry. Have you ever seen it?
Yes. Also, they do that in, I think it's the newest Bad Boys. And I eat that shit up. Like, I love seeing the first person view.
Yeah. It really has like a action-packed feel to it. But speaking of action, this is where we get into the horror movie vibes, where Calypso, like, the lights start going out and Calypso goes over the intercom. Hey, by the way, I just released some serial killers called Apocalypse 9 into the school with you, and you're locked in. Except for Mr. Grimm, who went out and decided to go fishing.
Right?
And then, like, Apocalypse 9, the guys like, they're like, have yellow skin because they burnt all their nerve endings off so they can't feel pain, and they look like crash test dummies.
Interesting episode.
Yeah, so it's basically people trying to survive while you're dealing with these like psychopaths. So Jeremy, do you know the backstory of like Apocalypse 9?
No, I do not actually.
Okay. So originally Twisted Metal was called High Octane. At some point they changed it to Twisted Metal, but in the original version of the game, Apocalypse 9, they were the first game takes place in Los Angeles. And they were like the most violent gang in Los Angeles. And Minion, the final boss of Twisted Metal 1, the tank was supposed to be piloted by like the leader of Apocalypse 9 using like a telepathic helmet. But that ended up getting cut, and Minion got changed to a demon that was actually driving it, and they've never been in anything since, until now. So they went and just completely revamped him.
I'll be damned. That's a good fun fact.
Yep. So like the whole episodes is like people running away from him or trying to fight him, and they can't feel pain, so they're taking a lot of damage. It's kind of like our Novocaine review the other
day. Good analogy.
The thing is, like, they only kill like one person, and it's a brand new character.
Right? Apparently they aren't very scary because Axel 1v5s.
Well,
he 1v5s out of the 9.
Yeah, so just talking about, hold on, let's back up a little bit. So the new character Frostbite. Do you know what her wish was?
Shit, I don't remember that one either.
Jeremy, damn it.
Enlighten me again.
She had hyperthermia, and if you remember during the medical exams, like the doctors taking her temperature, it's like 89 degrees. Like, she's like, wow, that's actually warm today.
I do remember that part.
Her wish, she had like permanent hyperthermia, but her wish was that she could feel warm again. And whenever the Apocalypse 9 one of them comes in, grabs her on the treadmill, press her face against it, it was going full speed. If you remember, she was yelling, it burns, while laughing like a maniac.
Yep.
She died.
Yep.
So that's her wish.
Calypso's, he's a madman.
But you get like John and Quiet fighting like one of them inside like a school shop. Now, the thing that I really liked about it was the whole Axel therapy thing, where
oh god, that was great.
Where Stu, Mike, and Dave were all together in a room. It was like they're piling shit in front of the doors. Like, okay, those Apocalypse 9 guys aren't gonna be able to get in here now. And then Axel opens the door because the door's open the other way. All the shit just pours out. Like, oh, this is just that strong guy. And then it's like, I need gasoline. He was drinking gasoline up to this point, so they do like intervention therapy thing for him.
It's like a little AA class. You don't need the gas, man.
Yeah, this is like Dave being like his usual, like extremely positive self.
It works so well, and it also went with the horror theme going on. It was like a pleasant little break from it, and then you go back to the horror stuff. It was well done.
Yeah, like that's where, like I said, where the series excels at. You just have comedy breaking up like the horror.
Yeah, their
Like,
mix pot episodes are the best. The ones where it just stays slow most of the school. Um, that's where again the tempo falls off.
Yep, and I love like Dave, Stu, and Mike's dynamic. Mike's his usual self, and Dave's just being positive, and Stu, you can tell he wants to rejoin with them, but he's with Sweet Tooth, and he doesn't want Sweet Tooth to probably try to kill them again. Now, Jeremy, how many Apocalypse 9 members were killed in this episode?
Well, Axel took down 5 of them. John and Quiet knocked one out.
Well, he didn't knock him out. He freaking table sawed him.
Oh, that was the one they table saw. That was John and Mayhem.
Yep.
Yeah, that was a brutal death. So we got, what was that? That we're up to 6. Is it just implied that Sweet Tooth just killed the rest?
Well,
Or
so Vermin killed a 7th
that's
one.
one. That's right. Vermin killed one, so we're up to 7.
Off screen. It was actually really fun. Like it was wrapped up in like a web.
He was screaming.
So the art director, I think it was the art director. It was someone that did something to do with photography or the vision, the main designer maybe. He posted pictures on Instagram of sets and stuff. And there's one picture where Sweet Tooth was in the doctor's office, had one of them impaled up on the wall.
Okay, that's awesome. I just chalked it up to Sweet Tooth killing the rest.
Yeah, well, he killed at least one of them, and maybe killed the other one we're missing.
God, I love Sweet Tooth.
That explains why you didn't see 9 die.
Right.
I don't know why they cut that scene. They could have fit a couple more minutes in there.
Right. I mean, seriously, they could have. Don't leave it up to our interpretation, because we're just going to say Sweet Tooth did it.
Yeah, at the end, Axel just comes with, I don't need gasoline anymore, and just solos all 5 of them since he's got the mechanical hands.
And he's ripped as hell.
Yep.
And buff. You know that man's on the roids. He's on the juice.
Yeah, this version of Axel can come out of his car tires thing. All right. You got anything else to say about this episode or move on?
Nope, other than it was, again, a phenomenal episode.
All right. Next episode, another school episode.
Go figure.
Last episode kind of ends with John admitting Quiet. It's like, oh yeah, I made a wish too, even though we're only supposed to make 1 wish per car. And he's like, okay. He asks Calypso, he's like, can I take back the wish? Like, yeah, you just gotta drink for the whale. Drinks from it. It's like, all right, done. See ya. Like, oh, there's gonna back to be any repercussions? Like, nope, go. See ya. Like, okay, that's easy.
Nothing's easy with Calypso.
Yeah. We'll get to what actually happens. Then that's when Calypso decides to put on a winter solstice dance.
Oh, God. That whole dance scene went on way too long.
It's supposed to be like a comedy episode where people are like dancing and dressed up and everything.
I mean, it has its fun moments, but this was the weaker of the episodes for me, if not the weakest.
Yeah, it was just like character development. A few kind of funny things, like whenever they're doing like the blood ritual, they're cutting themselves, smearing it on the tree. Stu goes, I got a splinter. They get to Axel. It's like, yeah, he doesn't have to do it since he doesn't have hands.
Calypso goes, he goes, Axel goes to Calypso and he puts out his metal hands and he's like, left or right. And Calypso's like, I think we can skip you.
Like he uses like his demonic magic to like heal everyone. And Stu goes like, I still have my splinter.
Calypso just kind of like shrugs it off. He just like looks at him and shrugs it off. I love that. He's like, I don't care.
Yeah, it's
most of it's the prom dance.
Yeah, it's dance. Oh, by the way, DJ was Club Kid. He was a driver in Twisted Metal 3.
Ooh, that's a fun fact I didn't know.
If you remember in the first season where stuff had like the yellow smiley face on it, that's his emblem.
Oh, I love it.
But we did get this was just like characters talking with each other. Mr. Grimm ends up screwing Vermin.
That's wild.
Like when they're doing it, like Sweet Tooth goes, it's like, oh, you won the bet, Grimm. Before she storms off. By the way, Jeremy, smash your pass on Vermin.
Oh, I'm passing. There's no counting those diseases.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's how you get an STD.
Uh-huh. That's a one-way ticket right there, sir.
I also liked whenever Axel was talking with Raven. I don't remember how it's like. You've got like a girlfriend, don't you? It's like, well, you got a problem with lesbians? And Axel's like, I love lesbians.
And he speaks about himself in third person too.
Yeah.
Axel loves lesbians.
I'll proudly say I love lesbians too.
That is fair as fuck.
And we also find out that Mayhem was the baby that Axel ended up sparing and ended up getting stolen by vultures.
Tell me you saw that coming a mile away.
Yes.
Yeah, I knew it immediately as I saw the baby. I'm like, well, I already know what's happening here.
Yeah. Once again, it kind of created more problems. Like, what year does this take place in?
Oh God, I for the life of me, I have tried so hard to figure something out, and I can't. What did we say in the last review? It's well over 2012. We know that.
It's got to be. It's kind of implied like 2002, 2005. That's when the world ended, and then like Agent Stone aged like 20, 30 years.
Yeah, you're right.
Then Axel was a baker and a hitman, like unless he was like inside an insider in the cities, and Mayhem's like maybe like 13 to 16.
It's so hard to tell. You know they keep it that way for a reason. They want to fuck with us.
Yeah, they don't want to set down an accurate date. But the majority of like the tail end of this episode is Mike, Stu, and Dave, where they're bonding, like having a good time. It's like, yeah, we're a trio. And then Stu makes a joke like, hey, Dave, you want some chicken fingers? Careful, these aren't people fingers. He's like, he gets upset and storms off.
Triggered him.
Yeah, him and Mike like have talks like, dude, you can't do that to a recovering cannibal. Like, okay, look, I'm gonna be the bigger man and go apologize to him. Goes into like the school like locker room here where Dave is like, Dave, what are you doing? He's like, wait, are you sucking your own dick? Like, that's pretty awesome. Turns around and like he's eating like frostbite severed leg. You can see he's got like frostbite in like one of the Apocalypse 9's corpse in like one of the shower stalls. Like, look, I've never, like, I can't stop eating people. That's part of me. It's like, and now since you know I'm going to have to eat you. So, you're going to fight. Stu has to, like, bite his ass. That what it taste like. It tastes like ass.
That foreshadows a hilarious scene coming up.
Yeah. Oh, I've got that quote written down.
Okay, I was going to say. One of us has to say it.
Yeah, well, Dave ends up diving at him and pales himself in like one of the wall-mounted coat hangers.
Right to the eye socket.
Which, murder between the tournaments is not allowed. He's like, okay, I can't, like, well, first off, he killed himself, but I can't make this look like a cannibal thing, so he makes it look like a suicide. Like in the worst way possible, because he's like the guy's eyes impaled, so like hangs him up by a noose.
2 unaliving scenes.
Yeah, it goes back. It's like, what did Dave say? Like, oh yeah, he's happy. I apologize. He said he's dealing with some stuff.
Yeah, Stu said that to Mike.
And that's when like the poison gas starts flowing in, and but before that, we see like the world from Sweet Tooth's perspective, where he's sitting there just watching everyone's like paper bag. My favorite was like the paper bag in the punch bowl with like all the goth stuff on it. It was supposed to be Raven. He looks over, he sees like a human version of Harold. It's like, you're my best friend, man. Like, I love you.
It's so funny that the actual brown bag is the only human he sees in that scene.
But like as soon as he turns back around, the bag's gone, and you see Mr. Graves like, you ruined my night. Lights him on lights Harold on fire and burns him before everyone gets knocked out.
That also leads into one of my other favorite parts of the series.
Well, that'll be the next episode.
Yeah, we can't spoil that one at all yet.
Yeah, overall, it was a weak episode, but it had its high points.
It did. It definitely did. Like, I can't shit on this completely. It was still enjoyable. But it was the weaker episode, I think.
Yeah. All right, episode 10, almost done.
Lightning round.
Well, we got other stuff first. So, not only do we have lightning round, which some contestants are in, we've also got the trials. So, let's talk about the trials first. So, Sweet Tooth, Mr. Grimm, Stu, and Mike wake up at the wishing well. Calypso is like, I had a really cool lightning round planned, and you four went and fucked the whole thing up. Like, so now we gotta do trials. So we've got 2 murders on our hands. So first off, Dave. So we almost like Dave's corpse is like, oh no, Dave killed himself. Like, look, that suicide note there. Like, yeah, but there's a problem. Pulls his like pants down. You see like the teeth marks. Or marks on it. It's like that's what it's like. All right, let's see if it fits. And then like Calypso teleports behind Stu and stabs him in the ass, pushes his like teeth. Right and then you get the iconic line from Sweet Tooth: "If teeth fit, you're guilty as shit."
Thank you for saying it.
Which is like the whole O.J. Simpson thing from Johnny Cochran.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah, it basically leads to like Stu having to confess to Mike. It's like, yeah, I killed him. He's like, yeah, but he was a cannibal. He tried attacking me. He's like, you're the one cannibal here. Mike made it. It's like confesses like the whole thing. Yeah, I made it look like a suicide because I didn't want to hurt Mike's feelings. And then Mike goes like, oh, that explains why I found the severed finger under his pillow this morning.
It's like, I love that moment. It's so funny.
It's such a dumb moment. Like even Calypso's like, this is dumb. And like he teleports right over to Mike and stabs him in like the shoulder. It's like if you would have brought up the fact that he was a cannibal, it could have saved this whole farce of a trial. It's like, okay, you know what, Stu, you're not guilty. All right, turning on to the next trial, Mr. Grimm. You murdered Sweet Tooth's friend Harold. Oh, I'm laughing too much. And by the way, it's like Sweet Tooth's like chained up. It's like, why am I the only one chained up? It's like, you're the only one dumb enough to actually do something. Like, oh, you're right. So Grimm's like, yeah, I burned a paper bag. Like, or someone we can't buy into like his delusions. It's like, you know what, you're guilty. Like, so I'm gonna kill you. So he's like, "Whoa, no, wait! I want revenge. Like, wouldn't it be better if you watch me kill him?" Like, yeah, it would be. Like, I'm gonna take something though from you, and then that's where you see Calypso like ripping the souls out of Mr. Grimm, and then throws him down the well, and then Mr. Grimm's only got like the one personality. It's like, oh no, like it's so quiet in here. And during the whole thing, Stu's watching the whole thing. Stu and Mike are watching the whole thing. And like they're like, "What the hell is going on?" Because they're not seeing any of this. Like Stu's like, it was like he says something along the lines of, "What was it? Like, don't ask me. I have like no idea whatever's going on."
So it's halfway implied again that Grimm may not be supernatural or could be.
Yeah, so either he's supernatural taking the souls, but only him and Calypso can see it, or Grimm's just a schizophrenic and Calypso with his demonic powers ended up ripping out like his other personalities.
Yeah, which is very possible. You know, I love Grimm's character. I did not think we'd be like delving this deep into it, to be honest.
Look, it's because they didn't answer the question.
They never did. They don't answer any questions.
This isn't a question we need answered. Like, this is like one of the questions. It's like better left unanswered. So that's the trial. But then we get to the lightning round. What's going on? Where all the other contestants are competing to stay alive. You have those lightning storms from the first season going on where they're fighting in pitch black, but everyone's got a target that they have to kill. And it's all like in a circle, so like 2 people aren't going to get each other. But Quiet has to kill Mayhem. It's like, I can't do that. And Axel, of course, realizing that she's the baby, protects her, but it leads to like Vermin getting killed and Axel getting killed, Dr. Evil quotation marks. And then for some reason, Mayhem, as long as her car is totaled, she's allowed to stay in the tournament.
Yeah, I didn't get that.
Yeah, because Vermin had to die. It's the whole Vermin has been eliminated thing didn't play till she was actually dead.
The way I interpret it is just when the vehicle's disabled completely, they're out of the game.
Well, Vermin's vehicle was completely disabled. The whole thing.
Oh yeah,
blew
hers
up.
was. I was referring more to when Mayhem crashes and it was completely totaled. She couldn't drive anymore, so she got disqualified. That's how I
Oh.
played it out anyway.
That's
I was
plot
a
armor.
picky boy.
It's plot armor.
Yeah. Oh, it definitely is. I was being a picky boy, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna say it's because the vehicle's disabled, and we'll go with it.
Just go with it. So she ends up like ripping out the Quattro AI. You see it later. So you probably see it in the next season. But yeah, the fights, you see like Raven's like electrical ability. But we see it actually uses like special too from the games.
Yes, we do. That was
Doesn't do
awesome.
Shit. It was awesome, but it didn't
It doesn't
do
do shit
anything.
other than. Yeah.
I mean, it's explained that it's sound waves. That's how he was keeping people in the drive-in theater.
Oh yeah, from season 1.
Well, no, like earlier in the season.
Oh yeah, this season. I'm mixed up.
But what do you think about this episode overall, Jeremy?
I thought it was a fun episode. There was enough action and enough comedic relief. I really loved the trial stuff so much. It put this episode higher on the scale for me for sure.
Another thing that happens in this episode too. This is where like Stu tells Sweet Tooth like I want to like separate. I want to go back with Mike. He explains like, look, Mike is my herald. It's like, oh, I get it. You're like a father to me.
That's at Harold's funeral, by the way.
Yeah. It's like sprinkling like the ashes. Like, okay. It's like, good luck. And by the way, I'm not going to hesitate to kill you in the next round. So, episode 11 and 12. These are like really the final episode. They're both part 1 and part 2.
Yep.
This is where you get like the main Twisted Metal thing. Everyone that's left is thrown into arena, and they duke it all out. Jeremy, what do you think about the fights overall?
I was entertained. There's definitely enough action to keep my ADHD in check.
Yep.
Especially the fight between Grimm and Sweet Tooth.
Sweet Tooth, yeah.
That was
fight.
Epic as hell.
Yeah, all the fights are great. Where Raven like basically activates like the shield cheat code, and
it's even mentioned too. It was referenced cheat codes.
I don't know if you okay, they were button combos. I think button combos is like the more modern term for it because they weren't really cheat codes because it was literally meta to do that shit. But she uses that shield, and the big things that happen in it is like Sweet Tooth ends up killing Mr. Grimm. Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention, like, in the last episode, there was kind of, like, some repercussions of making 2 wishes, and that's basically Calypso creates, like, a clone of Roadkill, and is basically having them both fight in separate cars now. But anyways, Mike would still go after the Roadkills, and it ends up leading to Mike getting himself killed.
No plot armor for Mike.
Yeah, his plot armor finally ran out. It's a no cauterizing the wound. Like you see, like the machine gun just blast through the window and fill him full of bullets. And Raven ends up getting killed. And what was Raven's wish?
To see, was it Kelly? To see Kelly again?
Yes.
Yep.
And what happens?
She saw Kelly.
Yeah, her flesh was falling off her arm.
Yeah, that was disgusting.
She's reunited with Kelly, so they were both dead.
Yep.
Eventually, just left with 2 roadkills. And that's when Calypso goes, all right, time for the final boss.
There always has to be a final boss.
Yeah, and that's when a crate gets brought in, and inside is a cyber demon.
It sounds like a predator at sometimes.
So, this series version of Minion is revealed. There is no damn tank.
Would you prefer the tank?
Yes.
I sure as hell would have preferred the tank.
So, you get like this Power Rangers battle.
Oh my god.
Literally
you
Power
said it
Rangers.
Perfectly.
This was like the fight with Minion is literally Power Rangers. Like there's no and ors or buts about it.
Yeah, there seriously isn't.
It's confusing what they did with Minion. Oh, let me try to explain it. It's so in the games normally Minion's a demon that's working for Calypso. Some games he's enslaved, other times he's doing freely. In this version, Minion's like this Dollface. John wished that she can come back, and she came back, all right.
Oh, yes, she
So-
did, with vengeance.
Yeah, he turned into like a cyborg demon thing, corpse.
I don't even try to wrap my head around that shit.
Yeah, but they end up fighting, and a long drawn out fight, and missiles and plasma bolts and all that. And they end up killing Dr. Evil Quote's minion. But both versions of Roadkiller are destroyed, and John gets killed. And as Quiet is mourning over his death, Stu rolls in in Hammerhead and is crowned the winner of the tournament. All right, your thoughts on the episode, Jeremy?
I mean, that's pretty much what it is. It's just action. I'm not a fan of the whole Minion thing. I wish it was a tank. Like I said, I'm not even trying to wrap my head around it. I just went with it. So if you're enjoying it just for the action perspective, yeah, it's a fun episode.
Yeah, the Minion thing was disappointing, and no tank, no monster truck Hammerhead, junkyard dogs, guys killed right away.
Literally. Right out the gate.
Maybe next season.
Maybe. If he's not already another Minion.
All right. Final episode 12.
The wrap-up episode.
Yep. Conclusion. All right. We start in modern Dr. Evil Quotes times, like before society fell. And Calypso is pitching the idea of Twisted Metal to NBC executives.
After he tells us he crawled out of the well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Back in the 1800s.
Yeah. No, it was like 1500. Like I think it was like 1595. Like Pilgrim times. Yeah. There was pilgrims were there, and he crawled out of the wishing well. So he's like 500 years old. But yeah, that's his backstory. He's got demonic powers, but he's pitching Twisted Metal NBC executives. Did you know, Jeremy, that this was like full of Easter eggs?
Oh, the majority of them went over my head then.
Yeah, they probably did. But yeah. Like, it's funny. He's got like a PowerPoint. It's like, all right. So this one we got we get celebrities. They'll be piloting him. It's like, wait, do you have Wesley Snipes signed on to this? It's like, Carson's on board. Like imagine this: Jerry Seinfeld, Jay Leno, and their classic cars duking it out. But it's like, all right, in season 2, the world will be my battleground. Paris, Hong Kong. Like, imagine cars ramping off of the Eiffel Tower. That's like a huge Easter egg because that's like the intro cutscene to like Twisted Metal 2.
I forgot about that.
It's like, why would these people be like? Why these people are rich? Like, why would they be destroying their classic cars for these? Like, okay, they get what. The winner gets one wish. It's like, all right, okay, well, if someone wishes for $1 billion, like, wait, how are we gonna pay for that? Like, oh no, you don't get it. Like, remember the whole thing. Careful what you wish for. So that it's setting up the whole idea that Calypso like backstabs people with the wishes, and that's for people who aren't familiar with the lore of the game. They're like, we don't see the point of this if they're not gonna get their wish. It's like, all right, we have something similar to this. It's called Battle Bots.
I used to watch that as a kid.
All right, so let's talk about that. In the early and mid 2000s, BattleBots was on Comedy Central.
Yes,
I don't think it was, which was owned by Viacom. I don't think it was owned by NBC to like the late 2020s.
Oh, that was a fun show.
So I don't know what year this fucking show takes place in.
No, we never will.
But yeah, the CNNs was like, all right, they're like, we're all past. So I want my 5 minutes back that we wasted here. It's like, all right, I'll just have to wait till the world's ready for Twisted Metal. It's supposed to get the whole idea that Calypso wants attention.
He is definitely a attention seeker.
I mean, that's his overall goal. But we go back to like modern day, and I forgot to mention too that Calypso like kills like half the audience.
He kills all the insiders, doesn't he?
Yeah, it was only the insiders, the people from inside the city, because they were separated. Like one side had people from inside the city, and then the other side people from outside the cities. They killed all the insiders. Completely out of nowhere. Mayhem ends up grabbing like Sweet Tooth's. Well, I didn't mention it, but Sweet Tooth got knocked out by Minion. We end up seeing like someone chaining up Sweet Tooth and carrying him off. But Mayhem's like in the Sweet Tooth car. Quiet's using like the car battery to defib him, or brings him back to life. And Stu gets his wish. Correct me if do you remember this, Jeremy? I thought in like an earlier episode, Sweet Tooth like mentions like, oh, I didn't make a wish, I kept the coin, and like Stu acts like surprised, like, well, you didn't make a wish.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it was like inconsistent writing then.
Yeah, I do remember
Because
that.
Calypso goes up to like Stu and is like, "All right, Stu, you're as my champion. Get your wish." It's like, "I want my wish." Then we flash back where to the wishing well with Stu and Sweet Tooth, and what happened now is that Sweet Tooth is pissing in the well. Like, wow, that was a good toilet. Like, oh look, there's an exit right there. He leaves, and then Stu ends up grabbing like one of the coins. He's like, I wish to be far away, like safe from all this with just me and Mike. And then it flashes back. It's like, do you want your wish? Like, give me my fucking wish. All right.
What you wish for?
Yeah. It does the classic Easter egg clap. It's like, thank you for playing Twisted Metal. And then, like, during the clap, like, you're seeing Earth from, like, a porthole in a spaceship. It zooms out slightly. And Stu's, like, on the spaceship just completely in shock while Mike's corpse is behind him.
We knew that was coming.
Stu's, like, trapped in space with Mike's corpse because Mike's died in the last episode. And Stu's screaming.
That made me think, like, how on earth could you cover all bases to have like a proper wish granted from Calypso? There is no way.
You don't play the game. So there have been people who've gotten it over on Calypso. Twisted Metal 2 is especially good with this. So in Twisted Metal 2, Axel. So this isn't the case, but Calypso doesn't always backfire wishes. Like he'll grant a wish if it's going to backfire no matter what. Like with Axel, he wanted to face his creator, which was his dad in like the original timelines, and Calypso just let him go there, and Calypso ended up ripping his arms off to get out of the whole car thing. There's no way that was going to end well. But the ones who got over Calypso, it was Grasshopper, Shadow, and Minion. Because Grasshopper, you find out that she was like a android created by like the LAPD. She was Calypso's daughter. In that version, Calypso's like daughter died, and I think in the comics it was explained like he made a deal with the devil, something, because she died. But she had a bomb in her, blew him up. Minion's ending. He's like since he won, he ends up grabbing Calypso and just throwing him into hell. And then Shadow's ending, where like, oh Calypso, I don't want to wish. I got something for you though. Opens the coffin in his Erst and releases like all the souls that died during the tournament on him. So you've got to have like some insane power or have a bomb in your chest to get it over on him. The best way to do it is what Meter Maid did to Sweet Tooth in Twisted Metal 4. It's like, oh, I'm just here to give you your parking ticket.
That's a good fun fact.
But yeah, don't play the game. That's essentially what you can. Unless you want to make like some kind of 50-page PowerPoint that cover every base that can't be.
That would take forever.
No, don't even think about it.
No, I'm trying not
Don't
to.
play the game. Don't play the game.
Yeah, there you go.
Anyways, the rest of the episode is John and Quiet Mayhem. They go to the cabin.
Happily ever after.
Happily ever after till Calypso ends up hijacking all the electronics again, and it's like, oh, John and Quiet were the ones who killed all the insiders, and now the insiders have declared war on the outsiders. Jeremy, what was Quiet's wish?
To bring down all the walls.
What was Vermin's wish?
I don't remember that one.
It was to exterminate humanity.
Haha.
So, this is my theory. We see, whenever Calypso's on TV, he shows like footage of John and Quiet planting the bomb that blew up all the insiders. And they were like, how'd they get her clothes? Like, oh, the whole prom thing. That's when they took them and recorded that fake footage.
Mm-hmm.
So Calypso has like some, like I said, 4D chess thing going on. Like, I think he wants to bring about the apocalypse or something, and he's blaming John and Quiet for it. But this would backfire. This would backfire Vermin, and well, I mean, it would make Vermin's wish come true. Or well, it's gonna. I don't know. It's something to do with exterminating humanity, but all the walls will come down if all the outsiders are exterminated.
True.
I don't know. Put all those pieces together for Vermin's whole thing.
That makes sense.
But yeah, Minions are busting in after that and realize they're brother and sister, and it's like she snaps out of it like as soon as they leave. But oh yeah, and Stu end up getting back to Earth, which is really stupid.
Yeah, that's not explained in the slightest.
Well, he says like, "Oh, it's been like 6 months. Like I learned how to pilot the controls and crashed into the Great Lakes and immediately came here." By the way, you told everyone where this cabin was. That's how everyone found you. It ends with them like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna get revenge on Calypso for all this." And for some reason, Stu ain't pissed that they killed Mike. Like, that
Right?
bothered the fuck out of me.
Yeah, I noticed that too. And it's like, well, now they're all teamed up.
They're all teamed up, and then you've got like 2 after credit scenes. So the first after credit scene, after Sweet Tooth gets chained up, we see he's. I love whenever he wakes up. He's like, oh, he's been dragged like across the entire United States. Like, oh, I haven't slept that well in a while. He'd have like a serious case of road rash. It's like, all right, buddy, you're gonna let me go. I'm gonna have to hammer toss this taxi. It's like, oh, your dad wants to see you, His Holiness. Like, oh, Daddy saw me. Like, okay. So we see him getting dragged off to his dad. The taxi in Twisted Metal, that's called Yellow Jacket. It is normally in Twisted Metal 1 was piloted by Charlie Kane, who was Sweet Tooth's dad. I know in later games it was piloted by Charlie Kane as a corpse, and another one where Charlie Kane and son implying Sweet Tooth. And that goes back to like season 1 where the stepdad told like young Sweet Tooth, like, oh, I could have left you in that taxi, your dad. So like I mentioned in Twisted Metal 2, Sweet Tooth's dad becomes Dark Tooth, the final boss. So I think that's what we're going towards in season 3. Like we'll get his dad turning into Dark Tooth, and the rest of them will be fighting with Calypso,
Which would be awesome.
Yep. And then we also get like another after credit scene where it kind of heavily implies Axel survived. But yep, that's Twisted Metal season 2. So Jeremy, what were your overall thoughts about this episode?
Overall thoughts. Definitely worth the watch. I did thoroughly enjoy this. We're not scaling yet, but I would put it right underneath season 1. Season 1 was as damn good as it can get with, taking on a video game franchise and making it live. This was a good follow-up. It did have its slow points, as we've already torn apart. But yeah, you got to watch this one.
Yep. If you watch season 1, in for a penny, in for a pounding. It's not as good as the first one. It's got pacing problems, and like I said, with the whole school, most of the episodes taking place in like the school.
Those are really only the episodes that slow down.
Yeah.
But then again, even one of those episodes was really, really, really good in the school. So,
and it's not like there's no episode that's unwatchable.
Exactly.
If you had to rank the worst episodes, probably that second or third episode that was going over like Dollface's gang.
Yeah, I can agree with you there.
Yeah, it's great. Well, you could look forward to season 3.
Can't wait, honestly.
So, Jeremy, ready to scale it?
Let's do it.
All right, same scale as last time. Today, scale is Super Mario Brothers movie, like the newer one, to Mortal Kombat Annihilation. Where'd you rank it?
I'm going to put this 1 boomerang missile below season 1.
So, is it like boomeranging back above season 1?
No, it misses. That's the problem with the boomerang missile.
But does it miss and hit like go past like Super Mario Brothers movie and end up like at the top of the scale?
No. It misses completely and it veers off and explodes. So
Okay.
it's 1 notch underneath. Since you went in so much depth with this, it goes 1 notch underneath season 1 of Twisted Metal.
How about you using one Axel's special move instead of a fucking boomerang?
Yeah, there we go. One Axel special move below season 1.
Yeah,
it slightly jars it.
Yeah, it's not good season 1, but it's kind of a little different. It's still worth watching.
Oh yeah, it's still really, really good.
We'll see what season 3 has in store. All right, everyone. Thank you for listening to another episode of the Tairimo Boys podcast. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment. Tell us how far you would have made in this tournament. You actually made it to the tournament.
We didn't.
Don't forget to ring the motherfucking bell. Stay tuned for more episodes.